$5 in points. You want to use them?
Sure.
And then you have another $1. You want to use that as well?
Sure.
You hold it. I'll be the presenter. Then I have a question about it.
Actually, you know what? Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector coming at you on a cloudy, stormy Friday night. It is what I believe is going to be the last game of the NBA Finals, so hope you're geared up for that. But what I want to talk about is liquidation. There is mass liquidation that's going to be happening in the retro gaming community, and I think we're starting to see it. And I think the main beneficiary of this liquidation is, in fact, GameStop. The reason why I'm saying this is because at GameStops all across the country, you're seeing high levels of quality retro inventory hit the shelves. And it's not just in GameStops on the East Coast, on the West Coast, but it's everything in between. And I will say that there's probably a higher probability of you finding these higher quality games in major cities, like at GameStops in major cities. But we are seeing a higher concentration of top tier, top tier. I would say top tier retro games on the shelves at GameStop. And I had mentioned this in a video a few days ago. And I know every time I make these videos, I do get comments from folks that live probably in smaller cities who will say, Y2K, I'm not seeing what you're talking about. The only thing that's at my GameStop is PS3 and Xbox 360 games, and it's nothing but Assassin's Creed and, like NBA games and stuff. We're not seeing what you're seeing. Well, I did see a video from Easy Gamers where I think he just recently released a video today mentioning a number of quality retro games that he picked up at his local GameStop, including a copy of God Hand, which is, I just did a video on PS2 games, and God Hand was included in that video, and I was a little shocked that he found it. Now, granted, GameStop was selling God Hand for $75, so they're gonna mark up the games that they know are more expensive. God Hand probably goes for like $120 or something like that. But I mean, to be able to get the game at $75 is a huge discount, right? It's still a really good deal on a good game. And he found some other games, some PS1 games and stuff. And I used to think that these opportunities were not real until I myself started to see more and more quality retro games at my local GameStop. And I'm going to just go over a few. Well, I have a few local GameStops because, to be honest, there's about 6 or 7 GameStops within about a 20-minute drive from me or less. So, I have a few options. I'm not going to lie. I'm blessed to be able to have that many GameStops near me. But then again, I live in the biggest city in America. So, like, it's only natural that there's going to be that many GameStops near me. But I'm going to go over a number of retro games that I found at GameStop today, and I was pretty darn shocked. Before I go into this too, I will say that the power of the ask is semi-real, and I hate that phrase, the power of the ask, but it's a real thing. If you go to GameStop, if you go into any GameStop and you see uncommon retro games, that's like an indicator that they probably have a lot more in the back. So like at one of the GameStops that I frequent, I walked in and they had like a copy of Grandia Extreme on the PlayStation 2, along with a copy of Final Fantasy, and then they had some GameCube games. And so those were all indicators that, okay, they have some retro. So usually when I see stuff like that, I ask for what's left in the drawer. Now, sometimes they'll have games that are on trade hold, depending on the GameStop that you go to. But depending on the person that's there, they may just sell it to you, like, because you're interested, and just get it out of the inventory. I happened to go into a local GameStop, and this is what they had. So first I picked up this copy of Monkey Ball Touch and Roll. I'm not a huge fan of like the Monkey Ball games. I had an opportunity to pick up Monkey Ball on the GameCube, but I wasn't really like super sold on it. But this one on the DS looks like a really cute one. This is not an expensive game at all. This is a super cheap game. It's like a $6 game. But this was in really good condition. It was complete in box. I'm not even gonna open it because it's too much work to open it. But this one was complete in box. Really good deal, $6. So I went ahead and picked it up just because of how cheap it was, and I'm interested to give this one a run. Also, like, these are cool games that I think I could get like my daughter into. I think she'd like these games. And when I was like liquidating a lot of my retro games, I sold a lot of DS stuff that I regret, and I regret selling these types of DS games because I think these are the ones that I think my daughter will get into when she's a little older. So this one I did pick up. Now I'll go get into really just two. So I was gonna pick up a bunch of like other retro games, but I decided to just pick up two because they had a huge inventory selection, and I'll go over. First I'll show you one of the pickups that I made, and then I'll talk about some of the stuff that they had there. So first they had a copy of Lunar Silver Star Story. Now what they had was the Lunar, the manual, like the the beefy manual that it normally comes with, and then they also had all of the discs that come with it as well. Now Lunar Silver Star Story didn't really come with anything else inside the game case and box outside of like obviously the game case. Then you had the manual, and then you had like the outer box that it came with. So they didn't have the box and they didn't have the case, which was a bummer, but they did have like everything else. So I went ahead and picked this up because they had this for $45, and Lunar Silver Star Story is definitely one of the more expensive games on the PS2. If it was only the discs, I probably would have passed on it, but it did have the manual. So I'm gonna just bank on the fact that I'll eventually run into a case. I know when it comes to like Lunar, it's hard to get like the manual and the and all of the discs. It's usually like missing some of the discs, but all 4 discs are here and the manual. So I really just need a case as well as the outer like cardboard box for it. But I thought that this was a pretty good deal for like one of the most renowned RPGs on the PlayStation 1. I do have Lunar 2 Eternal Blue on the Sega CD. So and the little bit that I played on the Sega CD, I was intrigued in this RPG. Just the story, and there's just something very nostalgic about it. So I went ahead and picked that up. Now, before I show you the next pickup, I will just go over some of the other things that they had there that I passed on. So they did have Dragon Valor on the PlayStation 1. They also had Strider 2 on the PlayStation 1. They had Budokai Tenshi and a few other games. But another one of the games that I did pick up, and I'm playing it now, so I'm gonna have to turn it off and pull it out the case, but they also had a copy of Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Now, I actually had a copy of Castlevania Lament of Innocence complete in box, but the copy that I had a little bit of water damage, so when I was liquidating my PlayStation 2 games, I sold that. Now, I still have Curse of Darkness, I believe that's what it's called on the PlayStation 2, because they came out with 2 on the PS2, and this one plays different. It plays actually a lot different from Curse of Darkness. They had this there for like $10, so I did pick this up because this is a fun game, and I actually started playing it, and I've been playing it since I got back. So this was another pickup that I got from there. But they had a bunch of PlayStation 1 games, some really cool PlayStation 3 games. Their inventory was just really, really like hefty. And this is why I believe that there is a liquidation of retro games going on. And if you do have a GameStop near you, just swing by, see what they have, because they may have stuff there. And don't sleep on their online store. You know, GameStop's online store is valid. I mean, it's definitely valid. They've got some good stuff on there, and I definitely recommend checking it out. All right, so I'll get into the last pickup. So the last pickup that I got was Lunar 2. Now, I picked this up again because it had everything but the case and the outer box. And what I saw when I was looking up comps online is that a lot of times the comps online will either be missing a disc or it'll be missing the extras that come along with this. Now, the unique thing with this pickup is that not only did GameStop have all of the discs, but they also had the manual and they had the little special edition box that comes with all of the trinkets. So when you pop open this box, it includes a map. So it includes a map that you see here. That's also inside of here. It includes like this little, I guess, instruction manual on how you can kind of like place these little markers on the map. So it comes with this little doohickey here. And then it also comes with this like little pendant. Let me see if I can get this out this bag here. Yeah, so it comes with this like this little pendant that you see here. So all of these things were included in the box. And like I said, a lot of times when you see this game like online, you don't typically see like it come with all of the extras. And I think it'll probably be easier for me to find a case in the box than it would be for me to find like all of these items. But you know, there's so many components that come with like this, like the Lunar games, that like I'm really gonna have to Frankenstein all of this together. But I believe that I have all of the more difficult components to find. I feel like finding the case in the box are going to be a lot easier than finding like the pendant, all the stickers, the map, all that other stuff along with the manual. Now, the other piece of this is that it came with all 5 discs. So there's 4 discs that come with the game, and then there's also a soundtrack that comes with it as well. So 5 discs. So GameStop pretty much had all of the major components. It's really just missing the case and the box. So for me, you know, this is cool. Like I said, I do have Lunar Eternal Blue on the Sega CD, but the copy that I have for the Sega CD did not come with all of the like extras. I'm not gonna pull it out, but as you can see, it's right there, Lunar 2 for the Sega CD. But there's just something really nostalgic about these, and I think it's gonna be cool to be able to experience them on the PS1. So yeah, not bad. If you're wondering what all of this ran me, both of these games were pretty much ran me 100 for the 2, and these are 2 games that together are worth anywhere between $350 and $400. So I thought that that was a really good steal, a really good deal. Even if I have to wind up, you know, sourcing the case, even if I have to spend a little bit on finding a case and things like that, I think just for everything that I got here, really good value. Touch and Roll, you know, is pretty much market price was what I paid for it, and then also Lament of Innocence coming in at 10. So everything altogether wound up being roughly around 120, and I was able to take advantage of some coupons and things like that. But really good value for all of what you're seeing here. And once I complete it, it's like gonna be like a $500 value add to the collection. So again, I'm not a reseller. I definitely could have bought some of the other games that they had in the store there to flip them. Even though they were disc only, I easily could have flipped Strider 2. I could have flipped some of the other stuff, but I actually wound up leaving those games there because I already have all of those PS1 games in my collection complete in box. So I figure just share the wealth, leave some stuff there for folks who probably have never had a chance to own those games in their collection. Hopefully they'll be pleasantly surprised when they happen to pop into that GameStop. But let me know what you think. Let me know, would you have passed on the Lunar stuff because it didn't have the case, or do you think it was a good deal considering it has everything but the case? Let me know what you think down in the comments. It's the Y2K Collector. Great start to the weekend. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.